Well, good morning. Hope everybody is having a great Saturday morning. Woo, this is awesome. I just have the best time doing Saturday FlexCast. So I hope you all are having a great morning. Got your coffee ready to go. We just have so much fun stuff to talk about today and some good stuff going on. And if you were able to join at the Uncommon movement this morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, it was phenomenal. Man, I just love all the things that are coming to play here at Flex. I'm super excited about where we're going and what we're going to do. And it's going to be a great run for us together. We're going to change a lot of people's lives, and we're going to do so much for our own good. And so anyway, let's get started here. First of all, let's welcome Corey, because we have to give him kudos for everything that he does for our company. So everybody put a little love in there for Corey in the chat, and we'll get some things rolling here. Corey, you say your first two words today. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. It's always good just to get him to talk a little bit, right? So, all right. So awesome. Well, hey, first of all, I just want to say, just on the international side, we are expanding out into so many countries right now, and it's so exciting. And I just see them showing up here. Eugenie Bell in New Zealand. We've got Australia. We've got Nigeria now with Prince. Everyone, throw some fire in for Nigeria coming on board. This is our first person from Nigeria to be in, so super excited. Heidi is so amazing and bringing such great people, and so we just are so excited to see this expansion going across the world. And so, hey, let's get started and going. First of all, thanks to Eugenie Bell. She is our guest DJ of the week. And so we've got a couple more songs from her to use throughout the hour here. But I just love the way you guys do that on the Flex Connection and making sure that you guys are participating. So if you aren't a part of the Flex Connection, get there, because that's going to be a place where we can communicate with you, give you assets, and actually be part of the fun things. But there are so many people putting such great value in the Flex Connection. And so for the moderators, thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing. And hey, if you guys were on the Thursday night call, throw some fire up for Jennifer Philbrook. She did an incredible job of just walking through how she uses the chat and uses Ruby to do things in her world. The first time you do it, it's a little nerve-wracking, a little scary at first, but she did an amazing job. And I just want everyone to know that we're just going to use more and more people in the field to do this. For the rest of the world to see. It's not just us here at corporate. We're doing this as a collaboration. And so we want to get you guys on there. And we got two special guests that we're going to hear from today as well. So that's super exciting. So I'm choking up. So let's go ahead and get started on some of the things. If you don't know our weekly call schedule, make sure that you can find this post on the Flex Connection. But we do 5 different calls or podcasts every single week. So Monday night is our corporate call. Make sure you get there. That's where we put out kind of the week's agenda and the things that we're, pushing out, things that are new. However, we do a lot of those right here. We announce them right here on FlexCast to give you guys a little bit of advantage to being in here and participating in this. You get to hear about most of them first. We have our Uncommon movement. This is, again, Uncommon movement is a movement of men 16 and plus to go out and to pull them away from the herd and make them part of the 1%. It's a mentoring group. And one of the finances is one of the places that we're working on and putting into the world. And of course, we get to reach into their lives, but they also get to use Ruby and the opportunity to start setting up their stuff. So this is going to be so fun, and wait till we get our women's movement going as well. There are some very, very powerful women right here in Flex right now that are going to blow this thing up in so many ways, and I can't wait to see what happens in that movement. I just believe that there's so much that can happen when we just get accountability. You get good mentoring groups around people. man, it was great. It's powerful, and it's something that we can do great. Thursday night, Vision Cast. Always be there. We have new people coming in every week. They're going to start to do pieces of this. So we'll be reaching out to a couple of you this week. We're going to do 2 people this week. So we'll just keep expanding it week after week after week. And then, of course, Saturday mornings, this is my favorite day of our work week. Uncommon Movements podcast at 8 a.m. Central. And then, of course, this call. This is absolutely the best thing to do. So here, let's get moving into the countries and the founders. So let me talk a little bit about the founders. Got a couple things here I want to address on the founders' benefits. Okay, so we're getting ready to open up the countries. We are going, if they're already in this in the system, then they can use crypto right now to go ahead and get going. They promised me that tomorrow, oh, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, Monday, we will have the crypto for the enrollment process. We will also have the issues that we're having with the renewals and the upgrades and downgrades. Those will all be taken care of on Monday. And so I'm going to be super excited about that. And then another great thing is that there will be a way so that when you go in your back office and you say log into Ruby, you no longer will have to go through the process of, hey, here's your password, click on here to go to Ruby, then click in and go in. You'll be able to click log in Ruby and it'll push you right into your account. All the little things that, as we start to polish this stuff up, that'll make life a lot easier. So anyway, all of that stuff coming on Monday and the enrollment of this. So let me talk about what we're going to do with this. So the founders, I'm going to let run from 1 week. So as soon as we get that live where everyone can go and enroll with crypto, we will open it up 1 week. Everybody that's in before now in these countries will also be moved to founders based on their level. So that's how that's going to go. The crypto processing, again, Monday we'll bring that to play. And that should be something that when you go into the enrollment process, you select your country, you're going to see a payment option and their crypto will be found. All right, let's talk about one more thing. So this is not my most fun part of today. So let me get all the bad stuff out of the way for a minute. So when we ran our Flex Founders group, we ran it for 2 things. One, if you came in at Pro, you got extra words, but you also got paid as a gold. And then if you came in at the premium level, you got paid as a diamond, and for 6 months or a year, whichever one you purchased, annual, whatever. So I want to kind of walk through the conversation that we had about this, because I think this is super, super special for people who get in and get going, because we want to reward you for being part of the first group, right? And so I sat down and we talked to about this, Dan and I did, and we said, hey, I want to pay 20% on the binary. And the first thing he said to me is, well, I like the idea, but I don't know how we can code this to get this done. And of course, that has to be something that we have to consider, right? For make sure that we can pay it. And he said, no, I know how to do it. We can just pay it as a diamond, and we'll put them at diamond pay. And so that's what we did. We put it up diamond pay. And it wasn't until literally last week when people started asking, like, where's my diamond pool, that we sat down and he goes, well, no, we can't pay the diamond pool out, because the diamond pool would be like $2 for everybody that actually has generated all the revenue, because we're connected with, the Be Epic payout. And so that is not part of the founders. What the founder pay is the 20% of the binary or the gold level. I don't remember what that is, Corey, but whatever the payout is at gold, that is in the binary that you guys are going to get paid for that. There isn't a diamond pool. It's not as if you're getting paid in all ways of the diamond. It's only going to be that. I know that's my bad for the misinterpretation on that. I'm super sorry. These are things that we have just learned on being very clear on how things are going to be moving up. And so I need to make sure that we are putting out the right package and the right information to you. But as we get open to the founders on the international, it will be to be paid in the 2-team pay as a diamond. And that's kind of how it is going forward. And we'll put out a communication on email on that as well, to make sure everybody understands and clarifies that piece up. Now, the other thing I want to address along the lines of this is the payout and the way that works. I'm going to address it towards the flexonomics part, but I'm just going to hit it real quickly while I'm here. The piece with the two-team pay is that two-team pay is up to that percentage, because if the company goes and exceeds a 60% payout, it backs down onto the percentage that it pays out into the two-team pay to make sure that it can cover that. Now, there's some weeks that it drops under the 60%, and that money then is stored so that if it goes over the 60%, it uses that money first before it actually goes and lowers down. That is to protect the company so that the company doesn't overpay out and get itself into financial conditions that it can't get out of, which is also good for you as well. So just for those questions, I'm looking at definitely some clarity in how that's presented when they get paid. And so we're working on some of those things that will be part of the back office as we move into the new areas of that. So, all right, that was the hard stuff. Let me get out of this piece here and move on. Darn it, I forgot to take all the names off of all the people, so we're going to have to let it scroll for just a minute. I'll tell you what we'll do. While that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and play one little piece of music for you. There. I'll make it a little bit better.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this.
All right, so we can get on with our show now. So stop, come on, stop. Okay, sorry. All right. Now this is exciting, Corey. I haven't even talked to you about this, but this is so fun. Gosh, I love it. Even when I make mistakes, it's fun. That's kind of fun. Okay, Corey. I want you to take a guess. This is between you and me, because I know that you don't know, because I just looked it up right before here. I would like for you to guess how many people are registered for our Navigating Digital Marketing on November 4th. Take a guess. In fact, I want everybody to take a guess just as how many. Oh my gosh. Okay. Say it. Yes.
200.
200. I wish we had 200. I was blown away that we had 100, and James, you nailed it. Like nailed it right out of the gate. 100 people have already registered for this. That I think that's amazing, because they usually wait until the very last to do it anyway. But James Smith, I'm going to give you 10,000 words. Write that one down there for me for guessing that right out of the gate. Guys, we have 100 people registered for this event. I would like to see it double by the time we get there, just because it's an immense value. And this is what I know. When people come in, whether they are just looking to understand how Ruby works, they're going to learn that. But how Ruby works in a business and in marketing, that's going to be super powerful. So 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on November 4th, we're going to go through this. It will not be recorded. This will be an invite thing because it's interactive. And this is a special thing that we'll run maybe a couple times, maybe 3 times a year, and bring people in. So it's a privilege. And I want people to really understand. Now, Tanya Braxton said 2,500. And let me just tell you, that's what it should be. That's really what it should be. We're only making it out to the brand influencers because we want this to be something that's special for you guys. And we have some badges and we have stuff like that that we're going to be putting into your back office and things that you can use to actually go out and talk to businesses with. This is an important thing to get started with. So if you have people in your teams and they aren't registered for this, ask them, find out, get them in and get them registered. There's the 2 ways to do it. You can hit the QR code, you can hit the link, and I believe they're also in the Flex Connection. So get them there and let them know that this value is going to be just really, really amazing. All right, let's kind of go through a couple of the other pieces with this. While we're going through that navigation stuff, it's going to be really all the pieces of how Ruby works in your business. So even if they're just not really loving, maybe RUBI AI is not their thing, but they really have a business, this will change their world on how in their thought process of RUBI AI. So get them there. It's going to be part of building your business, for getting people that are engaged, but maybe they're in, but they're not fully engaged. This will take them to the new level because they're going to be educated. And when people have something great to share and they know it, they'll go talk about it. All right. So Flexology, let's talk about what we're going to do today. Number one, we're going to demo some stuff for Ghost. I want to make sure everyone understands how that works. This is a very powerful addition to the microservices. And I think I want to just deal with it just a little bit today, but we're also going to go deeper into how Ruby works on things like funnels. And then we kind of keep going through this whole process of funnels. And I keep saying funnels. And there's a reason for this, because this is how the marketing pieces kind of start through the process. So we'll keep going through this until we get through it. This is actually the last week of which I'll go through how to go and build this. But there's a couple of new things that we have put into Ruby over in the modules so that you can start to get some of this other stuff going. But we're going to go through a couple of those. This is also just a really simple value ladder, but to go through each one of these, you have to have certain pieces that bring them in so that they can, move through the funnel. If you're not familiar with the funnel, we're getting ready to go into funnel marketing on a module. So I want to explain this one more time. Funnels are just processes in which you start with a lot of people and then you're narrowing it down to those that are purchasing. And so it starts with traffic. And we talked about 3 different types of traffic. You have indirect traffic. That's traffic that you have nothing to deal with. Like, I mean, if I talk to Corey and Corey mentions it at Thanksgiving dinner and his mom jumps on to RUBI AI, that was awesome. That's still an indirect way of me getting traffic. You can create a lot of indirect traffic by brand building, right? So the brand is being pushed out and people talking. That's huge. But then you have direct traffic. That's what you are responsible for. Like if I post something in social media, I go out and create blog posts. I'm directing that traffic directly into the funnel. And then we have our re-engagement traffic, which is going out and building the community side. So how does that work? Well, it's about taking them through step by step. So you got to have something that's going to catch their attention. That would be an irresistible offer. You do want to, maybe in the funnel, if you're doing a product or service, you might want to put a little bump in there. So let's just talk about how we would do it with Ruby. With Ruby, I would have an irresistible offer of say, hey, how Ruby could 10x your business might be the irresistible offer. Get this guide and how you can do it. And then the next one might be the order form bump, and it will say, hey, you came in at basic, but I can bump you now to premium, and maybe we'll give you 100,000 words more. And so I'm going to give them an offer there. And then I'm going to give them a one-time offer on the way in. It's like, if you want to do an annual, okay, now I can get you into the founders group. That'd be my one-time offer. And then I'm going to get you guys into a core service, which is like, okay, now we got the subscription going, but now we have add-ons that might come on, and now you're going to add things on to your core service. Like storage, right? When you start having a lot of images and stuff like that, where storage is a core service that would be add-on. And then you go to your high ticket sales, which we don't have a high ticket sale in this industry, but for a lot of people who do like coaching and training and stuff like that, they might have a high ticket sale, and it might be like a $1,500 coming, events or whatever else. So anyway, this is the process of getting them in. And it's not just necessarily just getting them in and starting it there. I mean, you might have a sale with the irresistible offer, and then they might not do the order bump. They might not do the one-time offer, and they may not ever add in their core service. But if you're keeping that re-engagement to the traffic, then you're going to get down to that high ticket sale. All right, all of that. Before we get into Flexnomics, I'm going to jump over into Ruby, and we're going to start getting to work. So let's talk about Ruby. Corey, can you see the screen okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so one of the things that we have done, if you haven't seen it lately, is we put in some filtering onto the modules so that you can get in and see everything. If you're in the uncommon movement, there's an uncommon movement collection that's sitting there, but you also have the way to do a list view. You can see them this way by just clicking on it. You can see all the things that are in marketing and scroll through them. I also do a lot of favorites. So anything that you do that's a favorite is going to show up in here. So a couple of things that are new. You'll see that there's a Ruby presentation generator. So that's a new one that's out there. There's also going to be a sales funnel advisor. Now, if you're just new to doing sales funnels, this is exactly what you are going to need. And so this is where we're going to start today, is our sales funnel advisor. If you, again, haven't been through the process, you're going to see a couple of steps that are new. The first one is that you're going to have a preview that's going to give a little bit longer description so you can see a little bit more about the module. And then you're also going to see what inputs are going to be required so you know what's going to be in there. And if you'd like that, you can just use the module and we'll kick it into the create content page. Okay, so in our sales funnel, enter your business or industry. So I'm actually going to do this with a company called Simtrax. So Simtrax is a software package that we are building for the field services industry that services like, HVAC, plumbing, heat and air companies, anybody that does like crews and stuff like that. So I'm going to use it. So it's going to be the business or industry would be a field service software platform. And then what our goals are going to be, and our goals is to increase our brand awareness and increase our subscriptions by 10,000 in 60 days. Okay, so there's my good typing again. Okay, so here's all I'm going to put into this thing again, and I'm going to hit generate, and we're going to start to get the funnel marketing strategy. Now, this is telling me exactly the best way for me to take this specific issue, company, service, industry, and product to get what I want to do. And it's going to give me all the ways to go and create this. So if you don't know how to go and create a funnel, that's no longer an excuse not to do it, right? Ruby does know how to do it. And Ruby's is telling you literally every little tiny thing that you need to do to get there. It's giving you all kinds of stuff. So let's take this over to our composer window real quick so I can make it a little bit bigger for you all to see. I like to keep all the stuff in it formatted. So I'm going to format it like this. I've got all my stuff sitting on top of my screen already today. Okay, there we go. I can make it bigger. Okay, so now I've got it here. I like all the formatting to stay in. And now I'm going to go through and start looking at really all this detail, right? So it's going to recommend a CRM tool, right? So here's a couple of marketing automation tools. Here's a CRM tool. It's all about going in and starting to figure out exactly what it is that you need to do as recommendations, right? Then it's going to go into the tactics for lead nurturing. Now, if you aren't familiar with lead nurturing, it's really about pulling people in and then segmenting those people so that you can definitely find the right message for the right person for the place in which they are at that time, right? So it's going to talk about it. How do you segment your audience? Well, we already know that we can create as many personas as we want. And so when we get people coming into the funnel, we can break down exactly how they came in, create personas for each of those, and use content based on that, okay? We want to create that engaging content, which, gosh, we have the best program in the world to go and do all of that. And then we want to implement email automation, okay? Let me just tell you the roadmap and how quickly we're moving into this email automation or just workflow automation, right? So workflow automation is something that is going to change your life and how Ruby interacts with that. So I want you to think through a process for just 1 second. When we're talking about email automation, if you could go in and let's say, tell Ruby that when someone comes into the funnel for the first time and goes into the CRM that's in your platform, and as soon as that happens, it's going to have Ruby know where they came from. It's going to let them know what they did to get to wherever they are. And it would generate an email specific to that person that would then automatically email that person. And it could actually be done not just one time, but based upon their clicks and the click-throughs and all the other decisions that they're making. Is constantly leading them based upon their supplied information. So it's data-driven automation. And so you don't have to go and write something. She's going to write it for you, and she's going to write it for you in the place that that person came in with what it is. And you can connect it to pretty much any. I'm going to say you might have some weird one out there, but if it's a major email platform, you're going to be able to integrate no coding. Like you don't have to know coding. It literally is drag and drop. I want to take this. When this happens, I do this. And when that happens, I do this. That's that simple drag and drop process of connecting it to any of your email platforms, any of your CRM platforms you can be able to connect to. And that's going to help to onboard people. It's going to help get things, and it's automated, right? So you set it up and then it just naturally triggers these things to happen. That process is very close to being moved out. If it's not on 11/11, it's going to be very close. So that's how close this is that's coming for you guys to do that. That's also going to be something that you can use on your social media platforms. So by connecting into your social media platforms, you can also have it automatically post these things up, and also respond. So if you're looking at doing responses, this is going to be something that can really speed up the process of what you're doing. Okay, so let's talk about the next part, providing social proof. I don't know how many times you've heard me say we got to get social proof going for everything. So this is why getting people engaged into the social platforms for the company is super important, because the social proof is what makes it easier for every single person to get this moving, right? So as we start getting everybody into this, I mean, this is what I don't understand. If we have, thousands of users on this program, on our application, why do we only have, a few hundred people on our Instagram? That's not helping you. When you're not pushing people to our Instagram, that's not helping you. When the people go to a team site, they might love to be part of that team. They came into the company because of someone who invited them into that team, but that's not going to be the social proof that they can use if they don't know what people in that team already. Bias. They need to see it from the company too. So you got to get in there and start getting everybody in your teams to go and like and share and comment onto our platforms. That's going to create the social proof. Now, if you have the social proof in the content of this, this is where your testimonials come in. This is where you can say, hey, go take a look at our social channels. Let that be the person that's selling it. Let the social proof be the one that's making the influence on the person buying. It's easier that way, and it's stronger. It's like a review. They want to hear it from other people that aren't being introduced by you, right? And so this is an important process that you need to have in it. Okay, so now we've got our tactics, we've got our CRMs and our automation stuff set up. Now we're looking at our metrics, right? Metrics is and analytics is optimize the conversion rate. So we want to go through and look at these, and it's telling you exactly which metrics are your KPIs, which ones are your main ones that you're going to be looking and monitoring. And so we're looking at the conversion rate. Obviously, how many people have come in or clicked onto the funnel at the top, and how many of those are converting into a sale. Now you can break those conversion rates down as deep as you want, but then there's a click-through rate, right? How many people are going through our emails and they're clicking on that to go to the next level? And then we're having our open rate, like how many people are actually opening the emails that they're getting. So does that mean that our header is right? Are we getting the right subject lines? Looking at customer lifetime value. So how long are they staying into the system? Are they buying it month after month after month? Now, just on that, I just want to deal with it on Flex for just a second. This is the one thing that as I go and we start talking to people about this program and about Flex and then Ruby, and you start seeing what's happening, is I've never seen, number one, the numbers that we're seeing happen. So most people will join an MLM and never do anything. Literally won't even log into their back office. They might log in one time. They'll never do anything else. They never, especially in the service industry, like they don't even open the product. They just bought it and they moved on and it's over. Over 90% of the people who have purchased here have actually used Ruby. That's a phenomenal number, because it's usually around 20, 30, 40% that actually do that, because they're in it for just the money. They're not looking at the product. And what we have done here is we've been so heavy onto the product that regardless of their success in building a business, they're still going to stay on it. That makes our product sticky. So when you're starting to talk about the business side of Flex, you're going to have a very compounding business if you're consistent in the way that you grow it, just because it's sticky. Our customer lifeline value is going to be strong. I think when you start to see, let's compare it maybe to a nutritional or to a skincare or something like that in this industry, where those might be literally under 10% over 90 days. So 10% of people that get in will stay over 90 days. The rest of them mostly won't. If you're a really strong leader, you might get a little bit higher than that. And if you do, it will only last for a certain time period, because it's just it's a constant churn. It's a place and replace, right? And if you can have a business that compounds because of the product being so good and the value being above and beyond anything that they could find, and it's the backwards way of doing network marketing. I mean, you think about network marketing in general, is that they have amazing products, and I love the industry, and they have amazing products, but they're very expensive, usually higher than the price mark on the mass market. And we're the opposite. We flipped it on its head, right? We said, no, we're going to be undervalued. We're going to make it so it's so stupid that you wouldn't want to not buy it, and you're going to make it so valuable that they're never going to want to get off of it. That's the mindset that we come in with, because of our customer lifetime value that we're looking at, because that makes everybody's business a compounding interest type of business. And that's what you're looking for when you're doing subscription based. Okay, so going through our funnels, now look at all the things in our funnels that we're going through. Okay, I got my tools, I've got my tactics of how I'm going to go about using those tools. I'm going to have the metrics that I'm going to be measuring everything from. And now I'm going to go and start building them. I'm going to customize the offers for each stage of how I'm going through the funnel, right? So my awareness stage, this is bring them right in. At the very point that they're getting in contact with something, I'm driving them somewhere. I need to know how to educate them and how to get them the information so that they can make a decision. Okay. And then I'm going to take them to the next phase, which is the consideration stage. This is how I'm going to show huge value. I'm going to show value. I might do comparison guides. We did a comparison infographic about ChatGPT, right? So that would be where that would be in the process. Okay, they're looking at it. They're not really sure if they want to do it yet. They might have some ideas about it, and if they have a way to look at just a simple infographic that says, here's what ours does and here's what this one does, and they're like that, then it's easy for them to make a decision like, oh wow, this is a great decision. And then of course, then the last part of it is the decision and what happens with that. And then where do you get them to make that next piece, right? And you're moving them through it. So along with that, then you have your sample cold email templates, right? Now look, it's giving you some templates that are already written so that you can go out and start to do this. Now, the more information you're going to put in, the better the information coming out, right? So if you remember, I just stuck one little line in here. Put in 400 words and see what you get. You're going to get a lot better versions of these. But it gives you 3 different types of cold emails. It gives you the initial outreach. So as soon as they hit the funnel, this is going to be the first one that's going to be automatically, put out. Then it's going to have the lead nurturing. Okay, now I'm sitting here, and one of the things that Ruby's going to be really good at doing is taking and rating how different levels of your leads. Like, so you might have some that are hot leads. You're going to have some that are cold. You're going to have some that you need to re-warm up. There's different ways of moving that, but Ruby will integrate that into the automation workflow so that when you're going through and you're putting your funnels together, and you're seeing, okay, I've got this one going out and this one going out, you can have 3 or 4 different statuses maybe that is going there, and you don't have to do it. You just allow Ruby to go and sort those based upon how much time do they spend on websites. Like, this is coming in from your leads and information that you're sticking in, that Ruby is now crunching those numbers and getting it understood so they can answer these questions for you. Okay, then the converting customers. Okay, now we've got them in, we got them going, ready to go. Now we're going to tell them where to go and how to do it. So if you're not familiar with sales and the funnel and how they work, this is going to be an advisor that will guide you into getting that done. And it's giving you some ways around just kind of getting started. Understand that some of you on here might be very familiar with marketing. I can tell you that 99% of the world's not. They don't understand. And so you have to show them value in how they can use this. and then the light bulb comes on. And then you start to see amazing things that they do with it, right? So, okay, so that's one of them. We also have that Ruby presentation generator there to help you kind of generate some presentations. Let me go back to modules here. Let me go back and look at my featured modules. So if you look at your featured modules, those are ones that are in and have been made within the last 30 days. So again, you can see all the ones that are here that we just started building for you guys and pushing in. You can find those. You're amazing. And actually, one of the other ones that we just added in there was the personal trainer program. So on a personal note, if you want to go and use that to set up like a personal training program for yourself, it's easy to do. We did it this morning on the Uncommon Movement, and it's super powerful. It's one of the things that you can just get some stuff that makes it really easy to follow and be part of it. So that's where I'm going to stop that part today. And now I want to go and shift a little bit into Ghost. And when we can go and do that, I'm going to start doing like a business strategy, business marketing strategy. And I want to build this with just a couple of things because these are very simple and easy modules that will get you some good information. So I'm going to use Simtrax again because Simtrax is just kind of another company besides just Ruby all the time. We can kind of see how it will work in other world models. So again, this is a service-based business software like ServiceTitan, Field Edge, and Jobber. So I'm in the product type, I'm telling it a little bit about who my competitors are, and then what it's serviced around, and then the product name. I'm just going to get the name of it, and it's going to go ahead and generate me the business marketing strategy for it. These things are so good just to get started. It's like if there's any kind of business that's sitting out there, this is a great way just to get started. It's great for you to give it to clients. It's great for you to show it as a way that you can get a business to business type of sale model going within your Flex business and with Ruby. It's something that's very easy, and it like literally will blow people's minds because they don't think about it. They don't understand what they need to do. Like, here's the competitive analysis for those companies. Here's the pricing strategies that we can use for it. Here's some promotional activities that we can do. It's got so much information that you can just pour out into people and get that going. So this is a good one that you can use. It doesn't require a lot of information, and it's really a good demonstration piece as well. So I'm gonna use that one. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is go to Ghost. And so one of the things that was with Ghost, and you can do two different parts of Ghost. Let me just kind of clarify this. When you're doing any kind of like, okay, let's go back over here for Spy Audit. When you open up Spy Audit, you'll see now that it's a little bit different. You've got your scoring up on the top. You have your original output. So if I had something over here, let me just grab something real quick. So if I had something in my composer window and I hit Spy Audit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see this this is called the original output. Okay, so up in the original output, and you can see that there's original content and then there's ghostwriting. So these two are separating which version of text. Do I want the original output or do I want the ghost output to be sent to Spy to get it rated, okay, to do the audit? So I've got original content here. I've got it selected in my radio button. I'm now going to hit my run audit, and this is going to take it to Spy, and it's going to do this whole AI detection, plagiarism score, and readability scores based on the original output. And this one here comes up at 73.14% AI detection score, plagiarism score 0, good, and then my readability. Now, of course, you can highlight those as well, so you can see that it's 70% mainly generated. This is higher than we want. We want to be really definitely lower than 60. I'm actually saying 50% is kind of like the number that we really want to try to be on, under 50 and under. That way it's a 50-50 shot, whether it was by human or that. And it's like no one's going to take a gamble and penalize somebody if it's at 50-50 chance. So that's where we kind of really want to get it. And then the readability scores, you can also go through and highlight, and you can see that there's some things that we can make better on that one. So, and I can just tell you on 1111, the readability scores are going to have a lot more information in them so that you can understand how to use those a little bit more as well. So, okay, so now I've got this here. I've got the content at 73.14%. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit ghost. When I hit ghost, it's going to go and take that same original output and it's going to rewrite it and drop it down into my ghost output. So now I have my ghost right here. Okay, so this is a rewrite of what's up here. And now I want to run it through again. So I'm going to hit ghost writing and I'm going to hit run audit. Now I'm going to actually be sending the ghost writing piece up into a SPY so I can see what it's going to come back with on SPY on this one. So now when it finishes, you'll see that this rewrite version should hopefully be down lower. It's not always going to be lower. And I'll just tell you that that's because we don't sacrifice the content quality for the fact that we can get it underneath. However, this one did pretty good. It's down to 4.28% from 72, 70, what was it, 76 maybe, and it dropped down to 4. So this is really a good way. So now I can take this description and I can use it like on my Google My Business. It's not going to get hurt by anything that Google's looking at because I'm way underneath the AI detection. And that is very important when you're building your business online, to make sure that the content is under that radar. So this is great. Like, this is good. I can highlight that now and you can see that it's all blue. That's putting me into a really good, was mainly human. This is the way that you can use ghost. Now let's just talk about what happens if it is higher, because it happens. Like if it was 76% and all of a sudden it jumps to 99 on the rewrite, do it again. Do it again. That's all you can tell you to do, is it's going to do it again. And it may not actually get there. So if you can't get it there, if it, let's me just say, if it has a lot of facts, like it's only statistics are going to be tough to get it through, because how else do you write it, right? And so there's some things that are in the AI detection software that you're just not going to be able to probably get past the AI detection if it's got a ton of facts in it. The other thing that you have to understand, though, is that there's false positives and false negatives on everything that deals with this. So the AI detection is going to have false positives and false negatives. And Ghost is just going to write it so that it's got a different version, and it's going to be written in the right algorithms to make it look human-like. And sometimes that algorithm still may be higher, but it's going to be based on the same fact that if that same human trait was written, it would, from a real human, it would still be flagged as AI detection. And so it's just that's how it is. So you can always do another rewrite and see if I can get it even lower or different. But this is how Ghost works when you're looking to avoid AI detection. Okay. Now, let's get past the AI detection, because there's more to Ghost than just the AI detection. And that's why we have our whole section up here for this. Now, I know that that we want to include on this page the ability to do a SPY audit check. So at first I didn't think we needed to do that, because I was just looking at this as the rewrite section. I think I will reflect that, and we'll go back in and we will make sure that we add the ability to check whatever's rewritten by SPY right here on this page as well. So it's not that big a deal. We can add it very quickly. We'll get that done. But here on this section of Ghost, it's about doing the rewrites. So like if you need multiple versions of something to take to market, you just can import the save constant. So I want to go find the same thing that we just did. This is my GMB. So I've got my same thing I've written there. Now I can choose how many versions that I want. Now we're stopping it at 4 versions as of right now. On 11.11, this thing will be opened up where you can do 100. We might open it up to do 1,000, right? And that's going to be limited based upon how big it is, the content is over here. So if you have 5,000 words and you want to write, 1,000 of them, you're going to have to do that in chunks, because our system is just not going to be able to do that. There's no system that's going to do that the way it is, unless they queue it and it takes all day long. So we will limit to how many words are in here that are going to be out there by how many versions you can create at one time. Now you can do as many as you want over and over again, but that's how you'll do it. But if I wanted to go and create 3 different versions of this, I'm just going to choose that. Now there's 3 different variance levels of change. I can do a minimum change, which is going to change very few things. Like The paraphrasing is going to be the same. It might change a few words here and there, and it's going to be minimal change. Regular change is going to change a little bit of both. It's going to change a little bit of the wording. It's going to change a little bit of the paraphrasing. But then when you get into maximum change, it's going to be looking at whatever it can do to change it, to give it a very big, unique version from other versions being made. And so that's what it's doing right now. I've got make me 3 different versions. And so I've now got 3 different versions of the exact same thing that is here. And I can see each version of that by clicking in the tabs down at the bottom. And then I can actually copy them. I can save them, or I can download them. I can do all I want right here. So if I want to hit save, I can literally save just the one that I'm currently viewing. Okay, whatever's in this window right here, that's save current. And if I want to save all results, I'm going to save all 3 or all 4 or all 100 or 1,000, whatever it is that you created. You're going to save all the results, and it's just going to be appended with a -1, 2, 3, or 4, or whatever. And so in here, I'm going to put Simtrax rewrite, and I'm going to hit save. And then if I go to my save content, I'm actually going to be able to see it at the very end. I'll see Simtrax rewrite 1, 2, and 3. And now each one of these versions I can go and view, and I can always reload them back in to where I want to go. So anyway, there is the way that Ghost is working. This is a very powerful tool. If you're looking at doing anything with business that's doing SEO, you're looking at anything that you're doing for landing pages, anything that you're wanting to do to drive marketing for online, you want to make sure that you use Ghost, because that is a great tool that you can get people to see the value. Okay. And one of the most important things on the value side of that conversation is that we didn't raise any prices of the subscriptions, right? And so keep understanding that the more feature rich our product is, the better value and stickiness your product becomes. There'll be a day and a time where, if you're looking at building this as a business, you're probably sitting there going, man, I really wish we had higher price points. So there'd be more volume, and there'd be all these different things going on to help my business grow faster. There'll be options that we'll bring into this business model. Don't think that we don't understand what that's all about. So the main thing is that we just understand that as we go and build our business, there'll be add-ons, there'll be things that people will want to use that will add in even bigger monthlies that will add up more volume. So it will get there and be a great model for you. But stickiness is the key to building the business. Okay, so one thing let's talk about. I see something going on in the chat here. Corey, kind of walk me through here. So it looks like people are going on here about Be Epic. So let me address this whole thing with Be Epic real quick, so that we can just get this out of the way. So here's the thing. We had a business decision at the very beginning. So Dan and I have been doing business together for over a year. And when we got into deciding how we were going to take Flex to market, we had 2 options, right? We had an option that I could go completely 100% on my own and just do a brand new company, start from scratch. Or we could go in and be a Be Epic company, and we could rely on some of the infrastructure and platforms that were already in place that would take us to market faster. And the biggest place of that is the international marketplace, right? So if you're not familiar with the way these businesses start, it could take over a year to 2 years to open up 70 different countries legally. There's a lot of companies that come up and they open it all up, and they just run it, and they don't do it legally. And then pretty soon they can't go and do business in Korea, and they, one of the largest, markets in the world, they can't go and do business there anymore because they've been banned. And so I've been down that road. I don't want to do that. I want to do this thing clean. And Be Epic has done that. They've gone and they've gotten 70 plus countries opened up legally to go and do all this in. And under those licenses, we can open the world. And so that is how we made that decision, was to come in and be a Be Epic company. Now, the other side of that was we wanted to get it to market as quickly as possible. And so to do that, we were able to use some of the infrastructure that was already there. And that's going to be why we made this decision. Now, in that process, there's trade-offs. I would much rather say, hey, let's open the world now and not do it in a year or 2 years from now. We can do that today. And on top of that, The rest of the stuff is stuff that we can fix pretty quickly, right? So, you're going to see on Monday renewals, like the back office that is over there that we have been using. It was not a subscription based, it was an order based. And so now we have to alter some things to get that to work. So the point with Be Epic is this: Be Epic is its company on its own. Flex is its own company, and it's just a sister company to them by paper. As we start to go, we will be autonomous in how we do our business. They will not be connected. They won't be seeing the emails that are coming through, like all the things that we want separated. They're going to be separated. But I can assure you this, that once this thing is launched on 11/11, we're going to be in so much cleaner of a process. In fact, tomorrow you're going to see a major difference just in the way that you do business getting into Ruby. And so it will be an autonomous company. We have our own brands, we have our own image, we have everything that we're wanting to do. We have our own comp plan and the way that it calculates and moves everything. We are autonomous, and just know that we're working on getting that even better, so that we can separate that. So again, on Monday, you're going to have your ability to hit log into Ruby and push right into Ruby instead of having to go through the login process. You're going to have the renewals running, and that will be something that will be good. It just makes life a lot easier. And then, of course, you have your upgrades and downgrades that will be available as well. And so we can make this a lot smoother. One of the things I will say is, our roadmap for imagery and video and cloning and all that kind of stuff that is capable, fairly quickly. Those are the things that we will sit down and we'll look at when we come. Those are the places where regulation definitely is going to come. So we're going to look at where and how far we go with that until the regulations come in. But you will see imagery, you will see some video options and that kind of stuff in the roadmap very soon, very, very soon, to get that stuff in. And that's going to make a big difference in how you go and create things too. So the next level for the flexology part, just so you know, the next level of programming will be going to the complex modules where they do multiple things at one time. And so you can see how that will work as we start going into automation. And so there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes to make this as easy as possible for the most complicated things that are going to be done in our system. So lots of good stuff. So let's talk about the money. Let's talk about money for just a minute, like Flexonomics. So we took it to market in a business model that you can make money with. And why? Because two reasons. One, this industry is a perfect place to take a product out that needs some explaining and training, because this is where training happens. If you train people on how to use something, let me just ask you this in the chat. How many AI platforms are doing what we're doing right now for you? Zero, none, zip. And this is what makes the product sticky, because they know how to use it. They figure it out, right? Nobody's teaching AI. Nobody is. They give you the program. They say, go and do it. And you know what? If you don't like it, great. We're just going to keep pushing it out there. And yeah, we got some YouTube videos you can go watch. None of them are taking the time to do what we're doing. That's number one why we took it this way instead of just taking it straight to market. The second reason is, I don't know of any other business model that has been in this space that has the hottest technology talk, which is AI, and the ability to have a product in a lower price point than in other markets, and can we go worldwide and have a huge business model made. This is just insane. Like, if you really start putting it together, I mean, I've been in this industry for over 15 years. I've never been a part of anything like it. And then you see what we're attracting to it. It's insane what's going to happen here, guys. Just keep your faith going of where this is going to go on the business side. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about ranks today. So in the business of network marketing, you go through the ranks, because this is kind of your step by step to getting your business going. And as this business plan matures, your business itself matures, and your leadership matures. Okay, so there's a process that goes through this, and you always start down as brand influencer here, right? So as soon as you get in, you're a brand influencer, and all your goal is to be active. What is active? That means that you have at least the basic version or a customer that's purchased the basic version from you. That's it. That's all that's required. The next one is called a qualified brand influencer. This means that you are qualified to start earning in the 2-team pay, which means that you have someone that's active that you've personally sponsored on your left, and there's someone that you've personally sponsored on your right. That's it. That's all that's required for you to do the first 2 ranks. That's it. We try to do that in what, 24 hours. That's the step, right? The first 24 hours, get your 20 invites out, get your 2 people in, and repeat it. Okay, now let's go into our silver. So silver is where we start to make a jump, okay? Now silver and above, you start earning 12% in the 2-team pay. You don't get paid 10% of the lesser leg. You're now earning 12% of the lesser leg volume every week. You have to have 1,000 CV in the lesser leg to qualify. So you have to be active, you have to be qualified, one left, one right, and you have to have at least 1,000 CV in your lesser leg volume, and that will make you a silver qualified brand influencer. And you start to earn 12% in the 2-team pay. Now, gold is that place where if you came in as a founder, you're going to get paid the 15% on the 2-team payout, right? So at gold, you have to have 2,500 CV instead of 1,000 CV in the lesser leg, and that's going to bump you up to the 15%. Now, this is what we call our influencer ranks. Okay, this is kind of like the first batch. This is where you get going. Now, when you're starting to do 2,500 CV in your lesser leg, your business is starting to graduate. You're kind of moving to that point now where you might be doing some of your own calls. You're going to definitely start doing, more recruiting, and you're going to have some people in your team that are actually doing this as well. If you don't know what CV means, that means commissionable value. So if I look at our subscriptions, we have a $15 subscription, a $25 subscription, and a $50 subscription, basic, pro, and premium. Our premium costs $50, but it has 40 CV. So 40 CV is what goes into the commissionable volume. Okay, so that's what we're basing the commission payments off of, is that 40. That's what goes into paying everything out. The same thing with there's 20 on the $25 and 12.5 on the $15. Okay, so then we go, after we get to gold. This is a milestone, by the way. I would say get to gold. That's your first kind of place as fast as you can, because this 15%, that's a huge bump from 10% on your volume. And so then the next thing you want to do is get into our executive ranks. I loved a comment that I got the other day, and Corey, it's my bad I'm not doing this, because it was a no-brainer. When he said it to me, I'm like, why don't we? We've got to have a RUBI rank. I mean, how do we not have a RUBI rank sitting inside of here so that we can go like some kind of RUBI promotion, right? So we're going to add a RUBI rank. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to find a way to get a RUBI rank in here, because that's going to be the thing that we're going to be driving, is go to RUBI with RUBI, right? So we'll get that in there, and maybe it's a name change or something, but I'm going to get that in there. Diamond RUBI. I love that too. So the next thing that we have is we have platinum and we have diamond. Okay, so when you get into any company, I don't care which company it is, and they all have different qualifiers or whatever, but when you get to diamond in any of these companies, I mean, it's a big business. You're starting to make great big money. You have good volume, it's consistent volume, and you have a solid business going forward. And that's kind of like the leadership role that starts to really take control of the group, and you start to lead in a different way. So we want to try to set milestones. Gold is my first milestone. Diamond's going to be my second milestone today. And then the next set of ranks that we're going to go up is into blue diamond, what we call executive leadership ranks. This is just massive. Okay, this is like big organizations that get going. And I love to show this to you, because I mean, look, we're talking about 15,000 lesser leg volume, 25,000, 50, 100,000. This is weekly, guys, weekly volume. Okay, it maxes out at $20,000 per week. Okay, but one of the things that we have with this are these one-time bonuses. And these bonuses are so fun. Like, I can't wait to get my first $150,000 check away. Corey, that's going to be a day. Like, and it's not like never going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, that's the definite thing. It's definitely going to happen. And I can't wait to get that check out to somebody and do that. And so, but I say all this for a couple of things. How to say this, I guess, is I want to make sure that people understand that this process, it's a process. All of this to get to the very top of the top rank, all you're doing is the basic things that we're telling you to do. It's the simple steps that builds all of it. Okay. And then the people who get to the very top are the people who do it the most. That's it. It's just about repetition. So launch your business 24 hours, send out 20 invites, get people to do that. When you bring them in, get them into the steps, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's it. That brings you to the top. You just do it as many times as you need to get to the top. And that is it. Don't make it more complicated than that. That is it. And the more that you are able to get that to duplicate, the more that you get people to stick into the program because they're getting engaged, they're getting into FLEXCAST, they're getting into the social media, they're getting engaged into the culture, your business will start to compound at a massive pace. If everyone's able to do 2, we're not telling you to do it in a month. We're telling you to do it the first day they get in, because that's when they're the hottest. That's when they're the most excited about getting in and doing something. So get them started right at the very beginning. And then that also gets them their money back. So get them in, get their money back. So now they can just move forward. That's one thing about having a low price product. It doesn't take much to get it free, right? And so get in, get them started on those 3 steps and just kind of stay where we are. All right, we're running a little bit long again. I'm going to hurry through this, but this is the most important part. I love flexing. And so we have a couple of people going to jump in here with us. I want to talk about our influencers of the week. But I need to go and move some people over here. Let me get my attendees. Let's see. All right, Heidi. I see you have 2 of them in here, so I'm going to do my best to get you the right one in as a panelist. And then also, Tim, I'm bringing you in as a panelist right now as well. All right. So let's talk about our influencers of the week. Eugenie Bell, you are one of our influencers of the week. And I'll tell you, I love people who are going out and building. She brought 2 guests in on Thursday's VisionCast. Congratulations. You are going to get 20,000 or 20 credits. Is that what it was? I think it was credits, 20 credits for doing that. And so congratulations. And thank you for doing everything you're doing, because, hey, how committed is Eugenie? She's in New Zealand. What time is it there? Can you tell me what time it is? She probably felt, no, she's probably sleeping. It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. there. Give her some fire. I mean, like, fire up that channel. That is like insane. She's here every single week. Your involvement, you don't understand how that makes other people get excited. And I love it when you join, because so many people welcome you. So you are a value to the community, and we just really love it. So congratulations to Eugenie Bell. She's also going to earn 40 credits today for being our guest DJ, which I have a song from her to go at the end of the show. So that's good. I'll have that for you. And then David Eggers, way to go. 3 guests on Thursday's VisionCast. David, way to fire it up. I know that you're getting in and getting started, and you are on the right track to get this thing going, buddy. Super excited. I know that you were on the Uncommon Movement podcast this morning as well. Man, I'm super excited about you being engaged and being part of it. So welcome to the Flex family, and welcome to being an influencer of the week. So you also will be getting credits added to your account for that. So I have one influencer of the week, our Flex profile, and this is going to be a guy that I think he's deserved it so many weeks in a row that we just started it a couple weeks ago, and Sonia was a big winner last week. So awesome, way to go. But this week is for Tim McFatridge and in Texas. I mean, this guy has done so much with RUBI, and I can't wait for him to tell you a little bit about it. So Tim, I'm going to have you unmute if you can and be part of our FlexCast this morning. But man, I know that you got in and you weren't really sure about it. You actually were with NowSite, which is another MLM that claims to be AI, and it does some, but it doesn't go down our path. And like I said from the very beginning, we're not here to do any kind of, mine's better than theirs, whatever. We created our own marketplace. We don't have to be a competitor to anybody. They have to compete with us in our market space that we create. And we can see that by just, what people are talking about. So Tim, I would love for you to just give us a little bit about how you're using it, what it's doing for you in your social media and your business, and how excited you are about Flex and Ruby.
Thank you for that. I was not expecting the profile of the week. Yes, I was using NowSite, and not anything bad about them. Because I'm new to network marketing, and what I've learned is if you're going to be successful, whatever you do has to be duplicatable, and $149 a month for NowSite is not duplicatable. I will say this with Ruby, while I'm on the call, I just solved the age-old problem. If you're married, the one problem everybody has is, what do you want to eat? And it's always, I don't know, what do you want? I asked Ruby, can you suggest American food places to eat in Waco? And it gave me a list of 5. 2 of them I didn't even know were in Waco. So I solved that problem. Now, if my wife says, what do you want to eat? I'm going to ask Ruby, and I'm going to make a suggestion, and that's it. So thank you for that.
No, we have marriage counseling as part of Ruby. Okay, great. Got it.
Exactly. But no, I've been using Ruby. Actually, I only have one person signed up. I have several people looking, but the gentleman I signed up, he and I've known each other for 30 years. He used to be a general manager at a gym. I called him and I said, hey, I know you haven't really done anything. You haven't got into Ruby to dig into it, but I'm going to show you something that will blow your mind. I did a Zoom call with him and a buddy last night, showed them the personal training module, showed them the multi-day meal planning. And I said, Ruby is like it's like having a certified personal trainer in the palm of your hand. I said, you need to hit up every gym owner that you know. Every gym should be signing up with Ruby and having their personal trainers sign up to get an account, so it will streamline their personal training. They can sit there and do everything they need to do for their business. The other thing I started using was the email module. So I have a lot of people that have pre-enrolled in my other business, but I've never been able to figure out, man, how do I get them to take that next step? So just to test it, Thursday, I went in and had it create a follow-up email for me so I could send, because I've never been able to get anyone to reply to my email when I send them a welcome email after they pre-enroll. I sent out 4 emails that Ruby created, and 2 of the people replied back. So it was actually a 50% rate, success rate of them replying back. And I'm like, man, am I that dumb, or is just Ruby that good? I want to say Ruby's just that good. And then one last thing, I've been using Ruby to create all the content on my Facebook page, and I was just looking at the stats. So in the last 28 days, my reach is up 89% at 327. Net followers is up over the last 28 days, 286 new followers in the last 86 days. I also use an app called Koo. It's kind of like Twitter, but it's in other parts of the country. The cool thing about that, so when I first started using that, up until a month ago, I had 80 followers. Today, I'm at 181 from using Ruby. The tweet module on Ruby has really helped with that. And but yeah, it's phenomenal. But one quick thing has nothing to do with Ruby, just kind of a motivational thing. Roger Bannister, if you haven't heard of him, you can look him up. Roger Bannister set the world record for running a mile in under 4 minutes in 1954. He was the first person to do it. Up until that time, nobody's run under 4 minutes. He did it in the world. It was 3 minutes and 59 seconds. That record stood for 47 days, and then it was broke. And that record was broke like a month later. Since then, high school kids have broken that. The only thing that changed, it took one person to do something that had never been done, and that changed the mindset and belief in everyone else. So if you're in here, if you're trying to build Ruby or Flex or anything, find somebody who's done what you want to do and just believe that you can do it and get out there and do it.
That's amazing, buddy. I am so glad that you're here, and I love the fact that you're just passionate about it, and you also are part of the uncommon things of being up at 8 o'clock in the morning and And buddy, we are blessed to have you as part of our community and part of using Ruby. So congratulations, and you're earning 40,000 words for being the Flex profile of the week. So we'll stick those into your account. Just super excited about you. But I have one more person I want you to hear from. And Heidi, if you can unmute for just a second. Heidi Wilde. Heidi is like she's so contagious. Like you just meet people and you're like, oh, this girl is like on fire. Everything she does is like amazing, and she leads and takes care of her people so well. She's just a big part of the community. And Heidi, I would love for you just to give a little bit of a testimony about Flex and about Ruby and all the things that you are able to do with it, and how this is helping you in your life.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for this honor. I'm humbled.
You earned it.
I'm receiving. So I'm learning to receive. And I'm also going to acknowledge you and Corey and Dan and Mike, who introduced me to Ruby, and all of us. So the one thing that, many things, but this community is really cool. Like, everybody is here. The vibration is really high. I'm all about energy and frequency and vibration. And the one thing that you can't really define, and we're defining it, we're creating this culture, is the community. Like, with Tim, that was amazing. You're coming on, everyone is open to share and teach and learn and grow and lift one another up, because a rising tide does lift all ships. When it comes to Flex, Ruby girl, wow. So I was on a demo an hour ago with the Nigeria folks, and Dr. Tanya, who is a dear friend who introduced Prince. And I was touring him. He had seen it before. We went through another tour, but Ruby has a lot. So I was taking him through the different modules. I love the different views because everyone's different, right? The bubbles and, the list view and the view on the side. So as I was going through it, I get more mind blown every time I see Ruby, and it's being added to, and ghosts, and where do I start? Well, I will say I have some really amazing rock star leaders on that are on my team, and they're teaching me. We're all teaching each other, and a lot of them are content creators and help other businesses with creating content and social media. One thing that Diane O'Brien, I'm going to shout her out, said that she helps a lot of small businesses and they don't have a huge budget. And what Ruby allows is her to create content faster and more robust. And now she doesn't have to charge as much because she can do more with her time as well. A lot of people don't know their target audience. And Diane's going to come on at some point, hopefully, and share more about this, and Ruby can help with that, identify that, target that in. That persona, which I'd love to share at some point more about, is the key. And when you create a good persona with some emotion in it, the content that comes out of it is spot on, like spot on. When I share Ruby with people and I give them, a target market, of course, is one of my favorites, and also the one-shot social media posts. I had a friend that I interviewed. She sells wine, clean wine, and she played around with it. She came in as a customer, and she played around with it for a little bit, created a persona, created a holiday post, and she was so blown away. She said it was scary. It was so good. It sounded like her, in a scary in a good way, and she upgraded immediately to a distributor within like an hour. And the more that we play with it and we learn. So one of the tips that I would say is to get your fingers in it, get your hands dirty, and really see what it can do. See what it can do for other people. When I get on with someone, I hear what their business, where they're at, or their daily life, what's struggling in their daily life, and show them how Ruby can improve so much area in their life, their business, their team. If you have a network marketing team, you can bring your whole team on, and everyone, it's a win-win all around. So I could spend another 45 minutes. I won't. Yep, Glenda, don't be afraid to try the modules, play around with them, and play around a couple times, because you'll see that when you create the different personas and you drop down the personalities, the tones, the voice, the content will change. And again, it goes back to how juicy and delicious and robust your persona is. And then a tip I have too is I copy and paste my persona into my notes, and then I use that later when I'm doing my post, so I don't have to rewrite it or remember what I said. And save everything, and copy that over to a Google Drive, or copy that over to your notes. I do demos, and I'll go back into my notes, and I have demos that I have copied, maybe the target market, maybe the branding, all these different things that now I can go into notes and show them. And I always email the people that I'm demoing everything I've done for them, whether they ever come into Ruby or not. I want to serve them. And I think I have like a 99.9% enrollment because of what I've learned, taken the time to learn, and now can serve to who I'm sharing this with. So a little bit, that's what I have, a little bit. Thank you. Back to you.
I love it. I love it. And while you were doing that, you're so talented. You probably already reading. I'm asking the community, what can I reward you with? So this is what we come up with. 1 million credits. James Smith.
Oh, I haven't.
You're killing me, bro. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you 250,000 words, and I'm going to give you 100 credits just because of everything that you're doing.
Wow.
And I want that to be there for you so that you can use it. You're doing so much. And guys, she's such a powerful person to put into the community. If you are not connecting with her, go into the Flex Connection, connect with her, and just be, you'll just be finding so many things that you can do together. I just love our community. I love the way that we're going across lines to build everything up. So with that, guys, we are finished for today. I have one song to leave you with because this was on our great guest DJ list for today. So let me get it started. It takes just a second to warm up, but you all will know it because it's a little sappy. So here you go. There you go, guys. Have a great weekend. Go out, do what you need to do to make your Ruby business great, and we'll see you on Monday night's call. Oh, it's not night. It's still morning.